All right, and we're live.
And this week in podcast problems, we have John Sonmez with Blurry Cam.
Actually, Derek, you do too. I
Oh
think it
man,
might
it must be me
it,
then.
it might be your bandwidth.
It
I
might
think it
be.
is because now Josh suddenly looks terrible.
I do have. I am using a Chromebook. But
Yeah.
how's that working out?
it's actually working pretty good. Like that's the only thing I'm bringing to China is the Chromebook, and it seems like it. I mean, it does what I need. Like it's light. It's
Yeah.
200 for a $250 laptop. Not bad.
How so are you sure the VPN thing is going to work?
Not
It's like
100%.
it seems like that would be pretty easy to block.
They use
It's pretty
different.
common. I
Yeah,
know a lot
yeah.
of
I mean, a
people
lot
that
of
have
people
been
do.
over there and done that, so it's
Yeah, I think there's two aspects to it. I think one, they don't really care that much. Like if you're sophisticated enough to do it,
Okay.
they just want the mass to not be able to be informed. And then the other piece of it is the VPN software. Like VPN vendors are basically they're competing against each other to be able to, you know, all their business or majority of their business comes from China. So
Oh,
or from
interesting.
people traveling to China. So
Okay.
they're constantly competing against new technologies to stop the Chinese government from.
Okay. So it's an open war
Yeah,
back
yeah.
and forth.
pretty much.
Cool. Yeah, I'm hoping you don't completely fall off the radar for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. I shouldn't because yeah, I shouldn't. So
Yeah. But you're not planning on being here, right? For the
for the
call.
Entreprogrammer,
Yeah.
I'm not planning on it. I might be able to. I don't know. I don't even haven't calculated what the time difference will be.
Hmm.
So if I can, I will. If not, but don't count on me being there.
Okay.
So
What's your itinerary again?
All
So
right.
where are you gonna be?
I'm going to be in uh, let's see, Beijing for until the 20th or the 21st, I think, and then I've got to get my. I don't know what my whole itinerary is, and then basically I'm going to Xi'an, and then uh, Guanli, I think, and then there's one other place, and then ending up in Shanghai.
Okay. I'm looking at a map right now. I don't know Chinese geography at all.
Man, I barely know Texas. It's
I'd say in the last like 3 years, I've learned a lot about world geography.
yeah, all the traveling you've done.
Yep.
So your parents are coming, right? Or your wife's parents are coming? Or
Yeah. Yep.
that should be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So, and I just got back from Vegas, so that was cool. I did a talk I did the keynote talk for the Blackboard conference.
You
So
sound hoarse. Or
yeah, some yelling. It went well though. It was they gave me an hour and a half for the keynote, so I
Oh
just
wow.
used the whole hour and a half.
That's a long talk.
Yeah. So I just did the soft skills talk, the same one as Xamarin, except I just extended it.
Did you get through the whole thing with an hour and a half?
Well, not the fifth one,
Okay.
but the fifth one I just
So
refer them to how to
it's
win friends.
officially a 2 hour
Yeah,
presentation at a minimum.
yeah, yeah.
Nice.
But it's better to just refer them to the book on the fifth one. So I've got to give the talk
Yeah.
in China, so that's going to be interesting because it'll be translated.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to have to really cut it down for that. So
Yeah, I wonder how much. I'll bet you the translation time at least doubles.
yeah, yep. So, and I've got to like talk like 3 or 4 times while I'm in China at the publisher. They're like set up a few different things. So,
Cool. So it's like a book tour.
yep, yep. So yeah,
Nice. How long is the flight?
12 hours.
Oof.
Yeah. So that's not too bad though from San Francisco. Like 12
Yeah,
hours is bearable.
it was for me going out to Las Vegas, or no, to Las Vegas was about 6 or 7 hours, and I felt like I was going to go crazy.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. But it'll be a bigger plane, so there should be more room. We'll see. Oh man, I'm tired.
Derek, what you got going on? Those emails have been killer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really all I've got going on is writing those emails for that sales pitch.
Oh, now Derek's breaking up.
Am I breaking
Yeah, you
up?
break.
I
Yeah,
can
you're
barely
breaking
hear
up.
you guys.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
All right.
Okay, Derek is going to restart.
Okay. It's possible it has something to do with my since
Your
I host.
Chromebook? It
Yeah.
doesn't. It doesn't seem like it would.
I don't have the strongest wireless connection either, but
Yeah. So so I want to hear your. You got to tell me this taxi story
oh, okay.
that you mentioned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got 2 stories for you actually to sell.
I already have. So this week I've been working on. I've got the whole email course for how to market yourself like outlined, and
Right.
one of the emails in the sales sequence at the end is penciled in for this taxi story because it sounds absolutely perfect.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I got one for the how to market yourself and one for the fitness.
Okay, cool. We'll start with the fitness one. I think I want Derek to hear the taxi one.
Well, I'll give you both of them because I think Derek will like the fitness one,
Oh, okay. All right.
considering his Las Vegas trip.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so what's been going on here? So Aaron is wrapping up. I think he's almost done he's gone through all of the blog posts and updated with the he got rid of all the embedded code.
Really? Oh, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
so he just has like a few little cleanup tasks left to do on that. So he's been rocking on that.
And did he fix the code where it had the greater than, less than, so
I showed him I taught him about HTML encoding
Oh,
of
good.
special
Okay.
characters, and he instantly got it. And then
Yeah.
I showed him which the most common things, and he's like, he actually has some interest in learning how to code. This is Aaron, Derek. Aaron's been going through. So John had a bunch of blog posts on Simple Programmer with embedded code snippets. You look a lot better, by the way. You look all.
Yeah, I can actually hear you guys now without you breaking up.
That's pretty great.
Good. Yes.
So we had like 80 some posts, I think, with embedded code samples that were using this plugin that was completely hosing the site.
Yeah.
Like it would take the site down every so often.
Wow.
So we had Aaron go through, and he has been basically deleting, moving all of those over to embedded gists.
Good. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, so he'll probably have about 20 hours into it, I think, all told.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy not having to do that. But yeah, he's kind of sort of interested in learning a little bit about code anyway.
Nice.
And it's funny, when I first hired him, I kind of assumed based on his picture that he was like mid-20s or so, because he was like wearing a suit and he was behind a microphone. Well, it turns out it was his high school debate. Like he was in this, he went to a private boarding school in Malaysia, and that was his high school debate photo.
So he's like 18.
He's 20. He's
20.
20. Yeah. But he's like really he's super mature. He like kind of reminds me of how I was at that age. Like
Yeah.
my parents always used to say I was like 13 going on 30.
Yeah.
So and I basically have always wanted to be in my 30s. So now now I'm good. It's all
now
good.
you're there. So what next? Jeez.
Yeah, I know.
Life ruined.
Now I'll have to spend the rest of my life mourning that I'm past my 30s.
Exactly.
There you go.
But yeah, so he's almost done with that. So that's been a huge relief to not have to. I also taught him about drip this week. I had him. I basically we were gonna do for the. John's been doing these posts for the book that he's writing. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to set up a drip campaign so people could opt in and they'd get all the chapters starting with the introduction.
Yeah.
And just as they come out, they just get the new chapters. Nice. So I had Aaron do all that setup. So he set up a Thrive form. We even used the new Drip or the new Thrive option to use the API with Drip custom fields. So the automation is triggered off of the Drip custom field.
Yeah.
They go in. He set up the workflow in Drip. What I did was I recorded a video of me doing the whole thing and then deleted everything.
Nice.
And I was like, it was like the dig a hole, fill it back in kind of thing. I was like, okay, I'm going to do all this and then I'm going to delete all of it and you have to redo it. And he did a really good job. And then I just went through a couple of times. So he did the whole thing, kind of did the first go at it, and then I went back through and I found all the mistakes that he made. And then I had him go back and fix all those, and then he tested it. And we had this is a gotcha. I actually making a note about this. I want to talk to Drip about this.
Pay attention, Rob.
Yeah. if you have a form field set or custom field set to a specific value, the updated event will not fire if you update it with the same value.
That would be my expectation. Why would you want it different?
Because you still attempted to update it. It's kind of.
What scenario would you want it to do that? Because in my programming brain, that's right. How I want it to behave.
Sorry, but the event in Drip is set. So, like, what I was keying off of was the custom field is set, and I was expecting that setting it again with the same value, almost like if you imagined typing in your password. Like, imagine if you had a web page, you had to type in your password, or you typed in your email address, and there was a validation, a little bit of validation that would run, and then if you deleted it and typed in your email address again, the validation didn't run the second time. Like, that to me is kind of the same type of scenario. Like,
but that's
whenever you, even if you're overwriting the field with the same value, you're still like attempting to update it. So I'm gonna ask. Yeah, it's just kind of a gotcha. So if you use a lead magnet field to trigger Drip automation, and they sign up for the same thing again twice, it won't trigger the second time.
Wait, wouldn't that be what you want? You don't want them to sign up for the same thing twice.
No, because we get people that actually do want to sign up for the same thing again.
Right.
Like, we get people that go through the stuff multiple times. We had one guy. Yeah, we had a guy email us because he went through the blogging course, and then like 3 weeks later he signed up for it again, and it didn't trigger because I didn't set it to restart.
Oh, right.
So, I'll just ask Drip support about that. I'll probably ask Andy.
You could work around that by having the end of your automation remove that field.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do something like that. I might have like a lead magnet. I already have a utility workflow that handles the lead magnet stuff, so I could like null that field. Although I don't think there's a way to like, you could set a default value, but I don't think there's a way to completely like wipe out a field to set it to nothing.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think there is, because I need to do that. because I've got some people that have undefined
Right.
as their names. It's like, hey, undefined. You know, that makes you
Yeah.
feel really special.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so we figured. So he was testing. Aaron was testing, and he discovered that little nuance.
Because in the UI for Drip, if you look at a subscriber in the properties, you can delete a field.
Yeah, I know, but
But
with a bulk,
there's not an API for it.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if there's a way to do do that in mass. I mean, it might be as simple as just doing open close quote, but I doubt it. I think you need to put in a value when you go to like update the field, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been, but oh my goodness, it's so nice to have him. So he now can set up landing pages in Thrive.
Nice.
He can do basic landing page layouts. He knows how to set stuff up and connect it to Drip, and he built the campaign for
Very
me.
nice.
And he's wrapping his brain around all of it. So
yeah.
I'm so happy. Oh my goodness, like I'm this week. Well, part of it's been that John's out of the loop and not creating chaos.
You hear that, John? Get out of your own business so Josh can run it properly.
also known as coming up with really good ideas. But since I've dropped my consulting and dropped the extra copywriting I was doing. Like my schedule now that I'm on this poorhouse trajectory that I'm on, my schedule is like so open. I don't have any meetings. I've been looking at my calendar for the next few weeks, and I have like 0 meetings for basically the next month. Other than like we'd have our Simple Programmer meeting on Monday to plan stuff, and this. But yeah, like my afternoons now are completely open, and I've been feeling like really happy and focused, and so we did have a little family budget committee meeting this week when we realized. So I basically had to cut my paycheck back. So I have that automatic withdrawal out of my business account, and I had to cut that back for a while until I can get my product launched, because my reserve has been dwindling, and we were like, oh, we've got like 3 more paychecks in the business account, and we're going to be at 0 before John gets back from China. This is not good. So yeah, so I fixed that, but yeah, it's been really nice. I've been a lot more focused and productive this week, and really happy about it. So I'm going to continue.
Nice.
I'm definitely going to.
Sounds about to be the exact opposite of me this week. Everything in my personal life and business life happened this freaking week. Everything. It's been horrendously frustrating and stressful, but it's.
We're like you and I are like the Jerry Seinfeld the Seinfeld episode where the John's in the middle, right, and then one's up and one's down.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a crazy week. Mark and I pushed hard to get my JavaScript list course launched on Wednesday, but it didn't happen. We missed that mark, so we have it scheduled to launch on Monday. I've already scheduled the broadcast to go out, and it's happening whether or not we're ready.
Are you using? Oh yeah, never mind. We can do that in Drip. It's a one-click.
I think half the email will go out.
Yeah, exactly. No, the launch email is written. The one-click sign up with the workflow is done. The email sequence, the sales pitches. The only thing that is not done at this point that is absolutely necessary is the new sales page, which Mark is working on today. And right now I have all of my links going to my old sales page. So even if he gets sick, gets hit by a bus or whatever, it'll still launch and it'll still work. It just won't be as effective as it could be.
Yeah.
if he gets that done, which he says he'll have it done today so that I can review it, tomorrow and get changes in on Sunday. And even once the thing launches on Monday, I still probably have a few days before it absolutely needs to be there. Some of the early bird buyers that just want to throw money at me right away are going to see the old page if that happens, but those are the people that probably won't care anyways.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's been going on. I've been really pushing hard to write emails this week. I've sent you guys several of those emails, and have got great feedback from you, and pretty darn happy with the way that they've turned out overall. And then on Wednesday, I did my second functional JavaScript webinar with Chet Harrison, and it had very few people show up. There were like 30, 35 people at max watching it live, with an average of sitting around 25, which that was disappointing. But oh wow, that was an incredible session. Like mind-meltingly good. It was easily the best description I have ever had on monads and monoids and functional composition and how it all comes together.
Why your attendance was low for this.
Yeah, I can't imagine either of the 500 people that have registered for it. But seriously, I haven't had time to edit the video and publish it on YouTube, but I really, really, really want to get that done soon, next week, hopefully, because I think this one session, I mean, this could be easily the most popular YouTube video I've ever done. It's that freaking good. So that was a lot of fun to do. I learned far more from that than I had ever been able to learn about functional programming and monads and whatnot. And we had a lot of fun with it too. It wasn't just knowledge, but it was like Chet at one point made the comparison of monads to diapers, and changing dirty diapers, and then changing your outfit as you get older and need new types of clothing and stuff. It was pretty good. And then the word functor came up a lot while talking about dirty diapers, which seemed appropriate.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. But then Tuesday and Thursday with my client were both pretty crazy days. We're at that like 99% done point with my current project, where it just needs to get published. I mean, it's the same situation that I'm sitting in with my JavaScript this course, where it just needs to be done and out the door.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to get it done and get it out the door, and then on top of that, my daughter started swim lessons this week, and then my son's got tutoring and got library nights, and there's just 1,001 things going on this week, and it's been crazy busy chaos, but I think I managed to survive. And I think these emails are going to be pretty killer. The unfair advantage in learning JavaScript first, and then the getting out of my own way emails. I think they turned out pretty well. They're fun stories, they're entertaining, and they tie things together pretty well.
Nice.
Yeah,
so
I'm excited.
We'll see what happens. My thank you page for the launch email on Monday has the one-click sign-up link. The drip automation is already put in place and enabled and running, so people will click that link and get put into the sequence. And the thank you page for signing up for that has a 3-minute video of me talking about the course and talking about JavaScript fundamentals and things like that. And then I have that one buy now button right below the video for people that want to just instantly buy the JavaScript fundamentals course.
Cool.
There's still a lot of work left to do after this thing launches. Mark and I have been talking about that as well. And one of the first things that I want to do, not from a marketing perspective, but from a content perspective, is go back and re-edit all of the existing videos. Because I went back in and I took a 3-minute segment out of my JavaScript this video and set it up in YouTube so that we can share that with people in the email course as a way to show people the videos and give them a reinforcement of the topic that they're already learning. And in the process of doing that, I applied a few very simple, quick edits to the audio, and it made it 100 times better.
That was one of the first courses you did, right?
Yeah. It was. This is like episodes 3, 4, and 5 of Watch Me Code from 5 years ago.
Nice.
So just applying a few very simple edits to the audio to put in background noise removal and compression and things like that had a huge impact on the audio quality. So I'm probably going to have my screencast editor go back and re-edit all of those. This is back when I was doing all of the editing as well and still learning about editing. So I'm going to have him go in and touch them up, get them up to par, and I will republish those on top of the current, just replacing the current videos so that everybody will have the updated stuff. My editor, though, my screencast editor is out of town for the next 2 weeks, so I'm going to have to suffer through recording and editing my own screencast for the next 2 weeks because I don't have a backup editor for my primary screencast right now, and I don't have time to train anyone to be my backup at the moment.
Yeah.
Let me add one more item to your list, to your marketing list here.
Of course, since we have 1,000 things already.
Well, yeah, okay. So this is not essential for you to launch this, but so for the video, for the thank you page, the way that we've been doing it is positioning it as a bonus lesson. Off of so because right now, like, there's not a good reason for them to watch that because it's you self-promoting, right? And that so make it so come back around to it later,
right? And
make it into some kind of bonus trick or tip or something.
Yeah, I like that idea.
So
content.
Yeah, because then and that way it's like you signed up for this, these 5 tips, and I'm giving you a bonus 6th one.
Right.
And then and then you turn that into, you transition at the end. You transition that into a pitch for the product. So that's kind of the trick. That's the main point of the video. So.
Okay, that's good.
But yeah,
I'll keep that in mind for reworking it at some point.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of videos and editing and all that, so I mentioned John in my my YouTube video for this week, which isn't published yet, because my YouTube editor got it back to me on Wednesday like I asked him to, and then I've just been so friggin' busy I haven't had a chance to look at it. So I fast scrolled through it this morning just to check the pop-outs that he was doing. And in the section where I mentioned John and Simple Programmer, I'm talking about your blogging course and how do you market yourself course.
Oh, okay.
And he put simpleprogrammer.com on there, which was great. But then he put John Sonmez, Jonh Sonmez. Like,
people do that all the time. I don't understand how you mess up spelling John. Like, I
don't know either, but I was about ready to upload the thing to YouTube and get it published because I wanted it published today. So I was like, I could, but I'll have him fix it before I upload it. Right.
I understand when people are like Jon.
Yeah, that's common.
Yeah.
But Jonh, I get that so many times. I'm like, really?
So he's gonna fix that and get it back to me, and I'll probably upload it tomorrow. And I would have had it uploaded. I would have had it fixed and uploaded already if I wasn't so dang busy this week. So it's not his fault by any means. He did great with the edit, but
you wouldn't believe how many different ways people will spell Earl.
Yeah, URL.
No, actually, that's the one I haven't gotten. But yeah, like EARL is how it's spelled, and then
Yeah.
EARLL, EARRL, EARLE. Like there's just an infinite number of
Yeah.
combinations.
Yeah.
And then about pretty often I get people calling me, thinking my first name is Earl.
Earl.
So
What's up, Earl?
yeah.
With my lousy, slurry speech, because I talk lazily, most people think my name is Garrett. Garret. Garrett.
Oh my gosh.
Garrett? No, Derek. Oh, Derek. Okay.
In Parks and Recreation, the character Jerry is like kind of the loser
Yes.
guy that everybody makes fun of. His actual name was Gary, with a G, and then like
Right.
his first day at work, his boss pronounced it Jerry, and so they called him Jerry for like basically 20 years, and then like it becomes a running gag throughout the series because they keep changing his name because nobody respects this guy.
Yeah.
They just call him whatever they want, and they changed his name to Larry at one point. So.
I had a coworker years ago, really nice guy. He was a lot of fun to talk to, but somehow he thought my name was Daxter.
What?
I have no idea.
That's odd.
I have no idea where that came from.
Awesome.
But I first figured this out when I literally had a line of people waiting to talk to me. I can't remember what was going on, but I remember the exact office and desk and everything, and I had 3 people standing in line waiting to talk to me, and he was the second person in line. So I finish up talking to the first person. He walks up and says, "Hey Dax, how's it going?" And I just totally ignored it. I was like, "I'm busy. I'm not going to correct him. I'm just going to move on." And we get done with that 2-second conversation, and he says something like, "See you later, Daxter." All right, that's fine. I got this other person that has something important to talk about. And for like 2 years, he called me Dax.
Maybe it's slang for something. Maybe it's like
No, it wasn't, and I know it wasn't. Because after about 2 years of this, of me not bothering to correct him, I just let him call me Dax for 2 years because I didn't care. I thought it was
like
funny.
Hoss. Like, what's up, Hoss? Like Dax.
2 years into this,
Awesome.
there is another line of people waiting to talk to me. I don't know why people kept lining up to talk to me. I guess I knew stuff at that job or something. And so he's standing, like second person in line, and somebody else is, or second or third person in line, and somebody else says, walks up and says, "Hey, Derek," and I respond, "Hey," and I see this guy turn around with this look of horror on his face and walk away, saying, Derek. And he turns back around and he's saying, Derek, not Dax, Derek. He's got this look on his face. And so he gets up to me after a few moments and says, "Hey, Derek," emphasizing Derek.
Totally your fault for not telling him.
I mean, it was entirely my. It started as like I'm just too busy to correct him and I don't really care right now,
Yeah.
and it became I'm just gonna let him run with it and see how long this lasts.
Wow.
It was seriously like 2 years before he figured out that my name was not Dax.
This is an email, Derek. This is totally an email.
I just got to figure out where it fits where, how it fits in somewhere. But yeah, that's good times.
Wow. Well, JavaScript certainly has its share of things you think you know.
Yeah, that's true.
You are wrong. So.
Completely backwards.
Oh man.
Oh boy. So yeah, my 2 emails that I just finished up this morning, the JavaScript as a second language, making comparisons to me trying to learn Spanish in high school, and meeting Jorge, who was from Mexico, So I'm sitting in Spanish 101 right next to this kid from Mexico, freaking out, thinking, how the crap am I going to survive a Spanish class when this kid from Mexico is in class with me? Is it? And of course, he's not there to learn Spanish because he speaks Spanish better than the teacher does. He's there because the school didn't have an English as a second language class. So that was the realization later with that situation. And then the second email, trying to learn how to tie my shoes. I have vague memories of my Velcro shoes and not wanting to learn how to tie my shoes because I kept getting frustrated. And then my parents have filled in that story for me multiple times. I have half real memories and half,
I feel like this
conjured.
is you with emails too. You don't want to learn them.
Yeah,
I feel
exactly.
Like I'm your email parent here.
You
and
are.
We're gradually learning. You're
I don't want to do this. Eventually, though, you're going to turn me into a spammy, scammy copywriter, just like everybody says I already am.
You're getting there.
Getting there. So yeah, that's my week. Trying to keep my head above water and not sure if I'm succeeding yet. So Mark and I have been talking about how we want to do the whole joint venture situation. We've verbally agreed on a $500 a month retainer, and then 20% of 20% commission on whatever product sale he helps me build up, which is going to be the JS This course and the JS Fundamentals bundle starting Monday, and then we're going to tweak that for a bit and try to get. Right now we have it set up to launch to existing email subscribers, so it's warm traffic, people that already know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have everything in place yet. Once we get this launched, we're going to watch it for a week or so and then start putting in place the long-form sales page and the other things that we need for the cold traffic.
Yeah.
And then once we get that in place, we're going to repeat the process on RabbitMQ and possibly one or two other screencast bundles just to get some good working funnels in place so that we have multiple entrances into the ultimate goal of the Watch Me Code membership funnel.
Yes.
And once we get there, we both realize that we're going to have to change up the joint venture arrangement at that point. But we're starting simple for now. We're trying to get some legal stuff set up, some documentation, contract kind of situations, so that we have something to cover our butts just in case bad things happen, which neither of us expect because we've been working really well together for the last few weeks and both really enjoy doing this and working together. But it's always a good idea to have those cover your butt contracts in place.
Are you happy with? Do you have a lawyer you're happy with, or?
No, that's the problem. We don't.
Do you want to use our guy?
Does he do? Well, of course he does this kind of stuff. But how would that work in terms of us not being physically located anywhere near him?
We're not.
He lived. Yeah, he was in. I talked to him this week, and he was in Brazil.
Okay.
He's like I don't even know where he lives. I think he was in.
I think he's in Idaho. I think he's in Boise.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That being the case, yes, please. I would love to do that.
I will.
There's a law firm in town where one of my friends has a brother-in-law that works there, I think, as a lawyer, or a good friend that he goes to church with or something. And so I've tried talking to that guy a few times, but it's hard to get on his schedule and
just don't jump the gun on this until you actually have sales that are generating from this. Right. Like just have like a verbal or just have a very like written agreement, informal, because your maximum loss is very small. Like there's nothing that's going to happen. Like if there's a fallout, but once you actually have sales and you know that going forward and it's substantial, then set the arrangement up.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's kind of the approach we're taking. We're both like, okay, we can do this now without the contracts being in place, but we want to make sure that we're moving forward and getting things going so that it does happen correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, Jared is the guy, and he's the same guy I'm going to use for my LLC.
Okay.
And he is he understands the internet business thing.
That's good.
Like,
Yeah.
he got what you're doing, and he and his wife have some ambitions to have like some internet businesses and stuff. So
Nice.
we might trade. I might give him some consulting on that.
Yeah,
in
totally.
exchange for the paperwork he needs to do for me. So
Yeah, that's one place where there is almost nothing here in Waco. Like the CPAs, the law firms, all the people around here that you really need to have knowledgeable, they don't know anything about online business.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could like if this goes well, you might even be able to take what we did and model after that, because I mean, just change the numbers basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we spent a lot of time thinking that through.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was actually mainly that. I think that was. I don't think either of us will probably ever look at that contract again, but just going through the process of thinking it all through really was valuable.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where the old quote of plans are useless, but planning is indispensable.
Yeah.
Yep.
You go through the process, you figure out the constraints, you know what the circumstances are in great detail, so that you can get it all documented and written down and make sure you have everything covered legally. But then once it starts setting in motion, you only really need to care about a few of the high points, and you move forward and figure it out.
Sweet. Yeah, we are.
Yep.
So it's funny. I've actually realized I didn't really think about this before, but we've been doing a lot. We've all been doing so much hiring and stuff. And I've actually realized that I'm not. It's actually kind of a strength of mine. Like the whole the delegating thing is actually. So I've had multiple people now. Multiple freelancers, Aaron being one. This week I hired somebody to do the media kit for Entreprogrammer, and the guy, when I wrote up the instructions and sent them over to him, he was like falling over, all excited with how detailed and clear they were, and I was like, whoa, okay. I think it's the programming. I think it's like the experience of like working through something as a programmer where you're you have to like basically write out in very explicit steps what the code is going to do. I think that really helped me learn to think that way, and like people have been really happy with that. So
it's funny. Josh has achieved his 13-year-old ambition of being 30 and being a boss.
And a boss, okay. So I'm a firstborn, right? So
you
that
need
is
a briefcase and a tie, and you'll be good to go.
Well, I'm a firstborn. So, like, that's pretty classic, kind of the birth order thing. And it's funny to watch my oldest falling into that exact same role, where he's, you see him like comforting and marshaling his brothers through the day, and
my kids are the exact opposite. My son is like, "Tell me what to do, please," and my daughter's like, "Do this, do this, do this, do this."
Cool.
Yeah, the older one he literally he walks up to his younger sister and says, "What I be?" And what he's asking is, "Play with me, tell me what to do. I don't care as long as we get to play together. Just tell me what I should be playing right now."
Yeah, I have become the man, apparently.
You have. You the man.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been really nice. I mean, like the having Aaron and now this designer to just delegate stuff to this week I've basically just been able to focus. So basically, I do my writing in the morning, and and get myself organized, and then delegate some stuff out for Simple Programmer, and then write in the afternoon.
Yep.
Great. It's been so relaxing.
I'm starting to feel like I am almost a legitimate business at this point. Not just, oh, Derek makes screencasts and sells them on the internet. It's like, oh, this is a legit business. This is $75,000 last year, and hopefully it'll hit that same mark again this year, which it's nowhere near at this point. But hopefully it will with some additional sales and marketing efforts. But I've got a video editor in Hawaii. I've got a YouTube video editor in Chennai, India. I spent the last couple of weeks working with a motion graphics designer in Caracas, Venezuela. I've got a marketing and a developer / marketer helping me with marketing stuff here in Waco. I mean, I've got employees. They're not full-time employees. They're contractors, but I have employees that are helping me run my business. It's a huge mental shift from I do this thing on the side and it's fun and I make money to holy crap, this is a freaking business.
Yeah. The one thing I'm really learning to watch for in this is I've learned to spot. I think it was Rodrigo's attitude and like the way he responds to stuff. Mm-hmm. Is from now on. That's basically he's like become the template of what I look for.
Yeah, exactly.
And like Aaron didn't know. I recognized in Aaron the same sort of traits, and he didn't know how to do 90% of the stuff that I wanted to do, but I knew that I could teach it all to him.
Yeah,
he'd be really happy to learn it.
Was it John that you said last week? Hire for the things you can't train, and then train for everything else.
Yeah. Yep.
Something
Hire
like
for
yeah.
what you can't train.
That's exactly right. So the designer. So this week I hired 3 different designers. Mm-hmm. It's been very much a game of Survivor this week. So I put the application out there. I said, I did the use the phrase Simple Programmer PDF in your application form, and that eliminated probably 4 or 5 people right off the bat.
Yeah, I can't follow instructions.
And then there were I put the job out for $50, and I basically what I did was I said, okay, so we have this media kit's going to be like 14, 15 pages. Well, I had them design a cover, so I paid $50 to have them design a cover and one of the interior pages.
Right.
And I narrowed it down to 5 people and then to 3 and hired all 3 of them. The one guy was from Pakistan, and he came in over bid. Like he wanted $80 instead of 50, but I was like, okay, whatever, because we didn't have that many people that seemed really good. He seemed pretty good. Then he starts copying an attitude with me immediately. I sent him the offer on the 12th. Okay.
Yeah.
He didn't get around to. He was in bed or whatever, and he didn't get around to looking at it until a couple of days later. And then he's like, "Well, I want an extension." So because I told him I wanted it done by Friday. Mm-hmm. He's like, "Okay, I want an extension." So I gave him an extension, and then he wanted another extension. So apparently, he said in his proposal to me, he said 4 business days, okay?
Yeah.
Which from the 12th, in the way that I count, is the 16th. Maybe if he's Muslim, maybe he doesn't work Friday, so maybe that's the 17th. But he wanted to till the 19th. So 4 business days is like basically more than a full week. Mm-hmm. And then he kind of copped in that. Just the way he was talking to me, I was like, "You're fired." So I canceled the contract. I was like, this is just, guy's gone. I don't like him already. And then
done.
Yeah, and then I have 2 left, and one is a Russian woman who is struggling to understand my instructions and not really, like, her first attempt was just not really, it was kind of lame. And then the other guy is this guy from Greece, and he's awesome. And he's like asked me good questions. John, I think I'm happy with what he gave us. I
Yeah.
think I might ask him to do another version with like a third color, because right now it's just black and orange, and I'd like to see just like a little bit more color in there.
Yeah.
So it looks kind of monotone right now, so I might ask him to do that. But
And
other
if
than
you
that,
want
I
to
think
use some photos in there, I don't know if you want to use photos that might, or some kind of
yeah,
imagery.
I don't know. I kind of, I mean, I'm not a big fan of stock photos. I think the
Yeah.
infographic style art looks better, looks more professional.
Yeah.
Except for maybe like a photo of you.
Yeah.
Or probably some screenshots of the. We'll have some screenshots of the properties.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly. Okay.
That we'll do that. But yeah, I don't think stock photos. I don't think I want to.
Yeah. No, I was thinking of some photos from
Oh.
my thing, and then from the actual like properties, like you said.
Yeah. I was thinking we could do like have him do like iPad mock-ups of like some of the sites on like an iPad or a laptop or whatever.
Yeah.
So so I'll have him. I think I'm just going to go ahead and hire him to do the full thing, because he's only $15 an hour too, so that's not bad. And he's somebody we could use to do a lot of our PDFs, and
Yeah. Exactly.
I think we could give him a lot of work.
Yep.
But yeah, so but yeah, it's very nice to be able to delegate some of this stuff.
Yeah.
I definitely, John. I've been thinking more about I really would like to just find somebody that we could throw like the odd bit of JavaScript coding at, like, because there's some stuff that I could do. Like I still haven't finished that stupid soft skills page, because there's like one thing that's not working right on it.
Yeah.
And I think the problem is that I'm trying to get it to send an event to Google Analytics, and I think the problem is that it's just redirecting away from the page too fast.
Yeah.
And so I want to fix that, but it's like kind of a low priority, but it's like blocking that whole. It's basically blocking me from getting that server shut down.
Oh yeah.
So I'm kind of thinking I might try to just like, if we just had somebody that I could throw that at, that type of thing. I have probably like 10 or 20 little things like that I would like to get done. So.
Okay. Well, we can put that on a.
Yeah, we might actually just be able to send an email to our lists even.
That's true. Yeah, and find someone that. Yeah.
If only we knew some programmers.
Yeah.
If only.
Oh, looking at that slide to the where he did the media kit, the cover, where he's got the Simple Programmer logo on the gray background. That looks pretty good. If you look at the Facebook group one that Rodrigo did, the cover for that, I think we need to have him updated to be the gray.
Oh yeah, background. So it's like a transparent. So it's like there's a white fill.
Or even a white background would probably work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't necessarily like the white fill. I don't know. Minor detail, but.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be good to have a graphics guy too that can handle that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean we've got like all those we have like so many little ebooks that could use some more professional polish, and I'd like to get the covers all redone for the How to Market Yourself. Rodrigo did those, and they were okay, but they weren't as good as the ones we have for the 10 Steps program.
Yeah. If we can get someone that can handle those really well, then that'd be, and then we can use that for other products. So.
Yep.
Oh, so the stories. So, in Vegas, I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna like chat to as many people as possible, like whenever I'm standing in line or something, so I can get some interesting stories and just some interesting ideas for YouTube videos, right? Because it's Vegas, lots of crazy people. So I was sitting at this bar eating some prime rib.
Nice.
On my non-carb day, and I was talking to this guy that was I forget what he was in. He lives in LA, but he was like going to San Diego for some event or something. Anyway, he was talking about how we were talking real estate and the prices there, and then he was talking about how he got in this cab, right? Oh, because he asked me what I was doing, and I told him I was a motivational speaker, and I said that I talked to software developers about soft skills, and he said, "Oh, that's interesting. I got into this cab, and the cab driver, he was a software developer."
Yeah.
And the cab driver started talking to me, and he's like, "Yeah, I had to learn, like, in order to be a software developer, you have to know all these skills. You know, you got to know SQL and web development and all this stuff." And he's like, "And I know all this stuff. I learned all this stuff." And he said, "But at my job, they wanted us to start interacting with the customers."
Oh.
And so he's like, and so we needed to have all these soft skills, which is BS, because I know, and he's like listing all of the, the stuff that he knows, all the technical skills, and he said that he got fired from his job because he didn't have the soft skills. He didn't.
Oh man.
And
Wow.
so he was asking him if he knew of any jobs. The guy, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know." That's like, and I told him, I was like, "Oh, I don't think I would hire someone whose like ambition was to drive a cab after like who couldn't adapt to learn soft skills." So essentially, this guy had been a developer for like 15 years or something like that. So.
Wow.
Oh man.
I got no problem hiring a cab driver for whatever, but if you got fired because you refused to learn how to treat human beings with respect. Yeah.
Well, he was saying too, like he was saying that all of the jobs now they're wanting developers to interact with the customer directly, right, and to have these soft skills.
Yeah.
Nice.
True. So anyway, I was like, as soon as he said that, I was emailing Josh. I was like,
nice.
"This story, don't let me forget to tell you."
Yeah.
It's perfect for how to market yourself.
Definitely.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Nice.
Technical skills are not enough. Who knew?
Yeah, gee, what do
otherwise
you
you
know?
could literally end up driving a cab.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
asking people who come into your cab if they know of a job.
Ouch.
Not only that, he's driving a
Step
cab
down.
instead of an Uber. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Not even Uber, just a
Is
cab.
that a step down from Monster.com or a step up? I'm not really sure.
It's probably a step up.
Yeah, I think it probably is.
okay, so then,
Your hit rate is going to be a lot lower, though.
Yeah.
okay, so then I got the story for you on the fitness product. This one's gonna seem a little bit incredulous, but so I'm leaving the pool from the in one of the Vegas. I decided to go and hit the pools and relax while I was there. So I'm leaving the pool, right? I'm putting on my shirt in the elevator, right? I've got the shirt over my head, right? So I can't, like, I'm just walking in the elevator, I can't see. So I'm trying to put that on. This Scottish guy says, "Hey, dude, put your shirt on," right? Like, I can't do a Scottish accent, but, and then apparently there's like 5 Scottish girls in the elevator, and they're like, "No, don't put your shirt on." And so I'm trying to put my shirt on. I've got it like halfway over my head. All of a sudden it gets snatched and it gets thrown to the other side of the elevator. The guy's trying to grab my shirt. The girls are trying to not let him grab my shirt.
Oh man.
They're like, "Oh, they're all of a sudden hands are grabbing my abs."
It's Vegas, man.
It was like an Axe commercial.
Wow.
So I'm like, again, finally I get my shirt right. I'm pulling it over my head. It gets snatched from me, thrown. Elevator stops, get onto the casino floor, right? I've got my shirt halfway on, and then again, I'm getting assaulted.
Nice.
So yeah, and then the Scottish guy is just shaking his head. He's just like, it's like, dude, just put your shirt on. Like, I'm trying to put my shirt on, dude. So, there you go for the fitness. I figured that'd be a good fitness story.
There we go.
The
Yes.
diet program. Yes, having abs will get you molested in the elevator.
That's the sales pitch headline, right?
Yeah.
Want to get molested in the elevator?
I think we just wrote our sales page, John.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep. My wife did not like that story. I was like, I did nothing to provoke this. I've just minded my own business.
Try to get in the elevator. Yeah.
Oh man.
Man, well, I got nothing else to say this week. I'm like, this week has been. I'm about done for the week talking.
I could use some help. So, just like, I think I might be in good shape with my product. Product idea, but it might be helpful to walk through that. I guess the problem I'm having is it's been really hard for me to. So Derek was kept prodding me about the deliver end-to-end value, and I'm totally like, that was like we hammered that at Track About, and it totally made sense, and I was always looking for chances to do that. Like I would literally build the screen with the one field that would go all the way through, plumb the whole thing through to the database, and do that approach. But this has been a lot harder for me to figure out how to do that, because I feel like the process is almost like, to me, it feels indivisible. Like, it doesn't feel like, it's hard for me to figure out what can I carve off and still have it be valuable. And Derek, is there, just because we've been working on this together a lot, is there, from your perspective, anything that's like obvious that would, because like you mentioned the cheat sheet idea, which I'm actually thinking, so I had an idea. Have you ever seen the people that do like those, it's like a mind map, but it's like really nicely done with like illustrations and everything, where they like illustrate, like you see.
They illustrate as you're talking.
Yeah, do you know what that's called?
Yeah, there's a handful of companies out there that I've seen that will do that for you pretty cheap, but I can't remember.
Okay.
What they are
I'm thinking I might do that as like a bonus for a future version of it. I think people would absolutely love that.
Yeah, definitely.
Like a nice full color, basically like an 8.5, like a cheat sheet type of poster thing that explains the whole thing in one condensed page.
I see this come up with a lot of conferences lately. Like there will be people at a conference that will take notes on a session and draw the notes like this.
Yeah.
And it's really cool stuff.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what they call it. There is a term for it, but I can't remember what it is offhand.
It's kind of along the same lines as the like adult coloring book.
Yeah.
Kind of tickles that part of your brain.
Right. But in terms of your real question of the end-to-end value, it's not so much. It's not like you're trying to deliver. This is how you write an email course, one layer at a time. It's more positioning each of the pieces that go into the framework that allow you to produce the end-to-end product.
Right.
So the goal for the person, there are many layers of education and many steps down the path for the person that's trying to learn this. When I look back at what I've done in the last 3 years, I didn't start with this goal of building this grand email course with this marketing pitch at the end of it. I started with, I need a mailing list. Okay, I've got a mailing list. Well, now I need to send stuff to my mailing list. Well, I'm sending stuff. Well, now I should send stuff that is, potentially going to make sales for me. Okay, when I'm sending
So
sales,
that's where
so
the people that I'm going after are basically either there or they're at the point where they feel like they should be sending stuff and they're
right,
not. So they have
right.
their mailing list.
Yeah, and that's something that you need to define in your avatar for this particular product. You've got your person that is they have a mailing list, they're already sending content, but they don't know, they whatever. And so you need to find that entry point where they are and get them to understand the individual pieces that will give them value now. The A2E is brilliant. I can use A2E in every one of my emails, and I can use that right now.
The thing I like about that is it's actually, and this is something I picked up on from Perry, is that when you come up with a good concept, it's usually recursive.
Yeah.
So the A2E thing applies across the whole email course, and it applies within the emails.
Exactly. So the A2E thing is a good place to start. It gets something into the hands of people that want info right now, and it gives them something actionable. And it will have a direct influence over the rest of the product. Right. But you can take that same idea and you can apply it to every individual piece in this course to a certain extent. Mm-hmm. You can take the avatar, for example, as the next deliverable end-to-end piece. Because once I had that avatar, and Mark continuously reminded me to read my avatar every frickin' day.
Right.
Once I started doing that, those 2 emails that I sent to you guys in the last 2 days, those were direct results of rereading my avatar over and over again.
This is so good to hear.
There you go. Yeah.
So getting that avatar in place, that could be your next deliverable, showing people how to create an avatar. And you can write up a very small, series on how to create an avatar pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. So there's a next iteration. Get people to build their avatar and have them understand why the avatar is important, and show them how to apply their avatar to their existing work, to the existing emails that they're sending out as one email sales pitches, or to their existing sales page for the product that they have, or to just everywhere that you can apply this avatar. Show them how they can apply it. And then the next step, I don't know what the next deliverable might be. It could be the features and benefits document of the product that they're selling, and show them how the features and benefits document builds on top of the avatar. Mm-hmm. And how you take the features and benefits and you pull out the features and benefits that directly talk to the avatar. Mm-hmm. And you deliver that piece as the next iteration, and you show people how you can position your sales page or position your sales email to talk to the pain points of the avatar. And so you start building this base of knowledge where people can start seeing how the dots connect. Right. It's similar to what I'm going through with functional programming right now, where I needed that one just core central piece, just that one first step to get me down the path. And for me, that was currying, JavaScript currying, function currying. Mm-hmm. And I ran with it, and I dug in deep, and I figured it out. And once I figured out currying, I started seeing what questions and thoughts that were around the edge of currying, and I thought maybe these next things might help me. And then when I got to this session on Wednesday with Chet, he started pointing out all of these questions that I had around the periphery of currying and functional programming, and I started seeing the light bulbs going off everywhere, and it all started making sense until I had a monad in my brain. I was like, oh, done. Okay, I've got that. That's great. So I've got these 2 building blocks. And and they're very powerful building blocks, and I can use those building blocks to create something much bigger in the next step. Right. So it's just a matter of segmenting the individual pieces that create your full process and your full workflow. Separate those things out. Show people how to put those building blocks together. At some point in time, they will have to take a leap of faith, but they will have built up so much knowledge and experience that they will already have the speed and the skill to make
Right.
that leap. It's not it's not okay, stand perfectly still on the edge of this cliff and jump to the other side of the Grand Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
It's take the first step, take the next step, get that running start, get to the point where you're running so dang fast and you're already stepping over so many potholes and pitfalls that when you get to the Grand Canyon, it's just, oh, okay, there we go. I mean, it's work. It's hard to do, but it's not insurmountable anymore.
So, okay. Yeah, I had a couple thoughts while you were talking. So one thing that's been tripping me up, what makes this a little tricky that I need to work through is, so the way that you're describing like the avatar and the features and benefits, like those pieces, that is more that's like kind of like background copywriting stuff that would apply. That's almost more like general email copywriting stuff, right?
But you have to understand that stuff to create an email course.
Well, I'm actually thinking that you don't. I'm gonna I have an idea for how maybe I can take some of that stuff away at first. The problem is that I've got email courses, like there are already a lot of people out there teaching email copywriting.
Mm-hmm.
Email courses is my differentiator, so I feel like this product needs to focus on that. And really what I'm doing is using this one specific format to teach all these other extraneous, like I'm basically teaching copywriting, email copywriting through this one specific format, if that makes sense. So I feel like I have to deliver that format as like my first iteration of this product because that's like my differentiator.
And that's fine. You can do that. Case in point, again, the session on Wednesday, when Chet and I were talking on Tuesday, he was outlining everything that he was going to go through, and he started with, okay, we're going to talk about this theory and this theory and this theory, and my brain immediately shut off. And so I said to him, okay, Chet, this is great. I understand the need for this theory, but you can't start with the theory.
Yeah.
Start with the end product, which is what you're wanting to do. Start with the email course. Take us from composition, monads, error handling, take us from all of these things that you're showing us in real code. Show us how awesome this is, and then take us backwards.
Yeah.
Then show us how we got there. Break it apart, break it down, and show us how we got there. So if you want to do something like that with email courses, give people the 10 steps to write an email course cheat sheet. Give them just the absolute breakdown and the thing that just gets them going quickly, and then from there break it down into the individual pieces. You need to figure out whether or not your avatar already knows how to write an avatar, already knows how to do features and benefits documents, they don't. I mean, I certainly didn't, in spite of my...
I mean, you are my avatar, basically. Yeah. So I mean,
you still need to teach those concepts, but you can do it. You can do it all through the context of this is how it's going to play into your email course, but always with the direct statement of it's also going to be applicable to your day-to-day work.
Right.
Starting now, because that was a huge point. That was a critical piece that I drilled into Chet on Tuesday. Not just start with the end, but break it down into pieces that are going to be usable today. Like I'm gonna finish this session and I'm gonna go back and use what I just learned. Because if you don't do it that way, then it's going to become an overwhelming sense of all or nothing.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that makes sense. So the way that I have this right now, so what I'm thinking right now is I'm thinking that what I'm going to try to do is do a really keep it tightly focused, and basically give them 5 learning mistakes
Mm-hmm.
on a platter. Like, teach them how to, because I'm getting one thing I'm really bogging down is, like, I know the 5 learning mistakes template that I have
Mm-hmm.
is useful, and I know that there are other templates like that,
Mm-hmm.
but I haven't discovered them yet.
And you have that one, so use it.
Yeah, and I have that one. So, like, I think there's another one that I call the hard way, easy way,
Mm-hmm.
which is better for, like, services, or if you're selling software, where you show people the manual way to do it. And this is where, like, if you can do more step-by-step stuff. But
So it's not like Back to the Future 2, where the easy way is somebody smacking you over the head with a gun and knocking you out.
no, no, it's actually like install the software, one click, done.
Okay.
Kind of easy, yeah. But yeah, so I'm thinking that for this first version, I'm gonna do. So I would start. Basically, I'm gonna eliminate the avatar and the features and benefits stuff from version 1.0,
Mm-hmm.
which is very painful for me to do because I know that that's, like, super important. I'm gonna add it back in later, but I think what I'm gonna do is start with, like, basically walk them through. So the first module would be, I outline the whole thing. First module would be basically, like, what does a good email course look like? So I would basically walk them through 5 learning mistakes and explain what the moving parts are, and what the big, the layout of what it looks like when you're all done.
Mm-hmm.
And then and, like, the two big ideas I'm going to teach are the A2E stuff, and then the other one is the sales story,
Mm-hmm.
which I've actually renamed Bad News, Good News, because that's kind of like what I want. But what I want them to do is say, the bad news is you have this disease. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the bad news is you have this symptom, which actually is worse than you thought and means you have this disease, but I've got this cure. And it's kind of like the basic, and I'm using the analogy of, like, a doctor who, you go in for dizziness and you find out you're, like, pre-diabetic, right?
Right.
And the good news, that's the bad news, and the good news is there's these steps you can take to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So those are I think those are the two, like, core. Those are, like, the two core concepts that I can't really strip it down any more than that. Now the way that you get to the bad news good news thing is primarily through doing the avatar.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to need to come back and add that in.
Yeah, but that's perfect. That not only plays into the whole idea of delivering end-to-end value each iteration, but it also sets up the perfect learning process.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're starting with the end, which is great. People want to see that end result. It gets them in. It gets them hooked. They can use the example and get up and running quickly, and have something that's going to get out the door fast. Then you take that end and you break it down into the first piece, the A2E and the bad news, good news. You deliver those courses, those bits of the course, and it immediately has an improving effect on the email course that the people are writing. Then you take that and you strip that down into the foundational pieces, which include the avatar and the features and benefits documents. So as you're creating the course content in the manner that the course content should be delivered, essentially.
Okay, that makes sense. And then, yeah, so that's like the first 3 modules. So it's going to be like the first module is going to be like a walkthrough.
Mm-hmm.
The second module is going to be writing your bad news, good news story.
Mm-hmm.
Then the third one's going to be planning out your course, and I'm just going to talk about how to, like, brainstorm the lessons and what to look for, and then start to talk about A2E at that point.
Yeah.
And then like, give a bunch of writing tips. I feel I have this fear that the first couple of versions of this, people are going to be like, it was pretty good, but I felt like it was really light on, like, the actual copywriting, like the writing part of it. because that was exact feeling, this exact experience I had with autoresponder madness. Like, it was kind of like all this prep work and then hand wavy thing, and then you have emails. And he didn't really, it wasn't real practical as far as the writing, but so I'm going to give some of that, but it's not going to be.
But you kind of have to do that for the first versions as well.
Yeah.
Because if you spend a ton of time getting into detail that you think is super important, you're going to miss the points that people actually need.
Yeah, and I think
that's where delivering value now is going to have benefits, compound interest later on, because you're going to get that feedback from the first people that go through this, and they're going to improve the product for you.
Yeah, that's exactly. I need to get. I've also realized. So I took. I've been doing some like a little bit of self-development stuff lately, and I took the Colby test. Have you heard of that? It is. It's kind of like it's sort of like DISC or Myers-Briggs, but it looks at how your natural the way that you naturally like take action.
Right.
So like how do you like to work basically? And one thing that I found, one thing that really came out of that was that I think this is true of a lot of people, but it's especially true of me, is that I'm not somebody who likes the part of getting from 0 to 1.
Yeah.
I hate that, which is why I've struggled so much with product creation, and it's why I've loved. What I like is I'm a tinkerer. I like to come in when everything's on fire and look around and figure out what's broken and fix it. And like looking back at everything I did as a kid, like I freaking loved. I was always taking things that were broken and fixing them.
Right.
And I'm not so much somebody who likes to create things from scratch. And so that's why, like when you said, Derek, like you got to get this, you got to deliver value like immediately. That really resonated for me this week because I realized, oh yeah, like getting over that hump of 0 to 1 is after that it's fixing and tinkering, and I think I'll be much happier. Which is also why I'm so big on just like, like this course, just get it out,
yeah,
throw it out there because I
get it done.
I suck at that part.
Yeah.
I think you've got it.
I think so too. I really like the perspective that you took. I mean, I tossed out ideas as I was thinking when I said ATE cheat sheet and avatar and whatnot. But you took the concept, the real meat of deliver value right away, and you found the right perspective and the right place to start with that. Give them the end, and then break it down into the pieces so that they can reproduce it themselves. Just one thing you want to make sure you emphasize in this, if you're going to start with the end and then have them delivering their own email course essentially from day one, your students need to understand that they will rewrite and rebuild the email course several times throughout your email course, throughout the learning process. And that's not a bad thing. They should not wait until they've learned everything, because just like you're doing right now, they need to iterate. They need to deliver value right now, and then go back and refine and iterate and rebuild until they have produced something. It's the whole analogy of study building pots for a semester versus build as many pots as you can.
Yeah.
And
I really like that.
Your students need to understand that analogy and how it applies to writing email courses. Because I wouldn't be writing the email course that I am today if I hadn't written 4 email courses already.
Right.
I mean, I have a crap ton of experience in sending sales pitches and sending individual emails and writing mostly terrible email courses that were, well, not terrible, writing books as email courses, essentially, writing products as email courses. And all of that led me to the ability to see what you and Mark have been telling me for the last month and a half, 2 months. So it's definitely it's an iterative and incremental process, the whole writing an email course.
But people are gonna want they just want like the cake. They want to see what the final cake looks like, and then they want the steps to make the cake. Yeah. And then they want that cake to be made as quickly as possible.
Right.
So
Yeah, and
I mean, and that's what you're delivering, I think, with
yeah,
with your outline is.
I
I
think
agree.
the 5 mistakes template will work for most. Like in probably the only scenario I could see where it might be problem is if you have a product that doesn't really solve problems and it's more of like a. But I mean, then there are people
You have a
that make.
whole host of problems.
Yeah, you have a whole host of problems, but there are definitely people who make a good living selling that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The nice
Yeah.
to have things, luxury items. But I think you could probably adapt it. It would just require some thought on their end as to how
You need to
to actually
be.
do that.
You need to make that clear in your marketing
Yeah, I
of
was
this as
thinking.
well.
Yeah, I was thinking I would try to
That's
disqualify some people.
yeah, that's definition that goes into your avatar and goes into the disqualification process for people that
Hmm.
are looking at your course. You know,
Yeah.
the email you forwarded to us earlier. Does this work for products or just knowledge
Hmm.
products? And you know, you need to answer that question for
Yeah.
your entire customer base.
Yep.
Will this work for both, or should you limit it to only knowledge info products?
Right.
Yeah.
I think my avatar for this is somebody doing info products, and I'm thinking at some point I might do like a module where I talk about how to modify it for
Right.
other types of businesses. But yeah, for this first go around, like all the examples are gonna be info product related. The other thing is like I'm kind of curious to see how many people end up buying it when they don't even have a product.
Yeah.
I think there will be. I've actually written. I mean, because they're freaking good lead magnets too. Like if you're still early on, like Kestrel wrote a pretty good one that he's using to build his list. But it's still everything still works. You just don't have the sales sequence at the end.
Right.
There's still a lot of benefits to doing it, but I think so I'll have to address that as well.
One thing on the module about tweaking it,
Mm-hmm.
you have to consider the size of your audience that would need that module, because now you're talking about people that are selling info products but now need to move into selling physical products. Is that the market that you want to fit, or do you want to find people that just need to send email courses on physical products? Because you're going to approach the problem from two different perspectives.
Right.
You're either going to tell people the differences between C# and JavaScript like I'm doing, or you're going to teach JavaScript from the ground up. I don't teach JavaScript from the ground up. I teach people that are coming from C# how to do JavaScript.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. I think the biggest slice of my audience that I'd want to hit actually would be people doing some kind of consulting versus info products. So that would be like if I would do it potentially. Maybe ends up being just another version of it for consultants. So it's not.
Yeah.
So there's not like as much crosstalk where you're.
Yeah. You probably end up with a lot better results doing that than if you try to just have one module to make the transition.
Think you're right. Yep. So yeah, so I'm thinking, I'm considering doing like the final module having like a technical setup thing where I talk about basically show people how to do some of the implementation using Drip as an example, because I actually get a surprising number. There's a surprising number of people that go through my email course on email courses, and the question I get is how do I do a limited time sale at the end? And so I've just been forwarding a lot. I've been forwarding people to Deadline Funnel. Yeah. So basically, I need to get an affiliate thing set up with Jack. Do you, Derek? Do you have Jack's email address by any chance? Because you talked to him, right?
Yeah, I've emailed him a couple of times. He's grown his team recently, and he has a lot more layers in between himself and the general public. But I do have.
Yeah, I could probably get to him because of. He actually just left Perry. He was Perry's marketing manager up until January, so I can probably get through to him.
What's his last name again?
Bourne, B-O, which is like the coolest name ever, Jack Bourne.
B-O-R-N-E?
Yeah. Yes. No, no, no. There's no E on the end.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I need to have some kind of deal with Deadline Funnel, at least until Thrive gets their act together and gets Ultimatum working the way we want it.
No, I talked to him directly, but it was always through his help at email address.
Oh, okay.
So he's added layers of people in between himself and that email at this point.
Maybe I will just try Jack. Is it at deadlinefunnel.com?
Yeah, Deadline
Okay, I'll
Funnel.
just try Jack. Yeah, so I'm thinking. So, and I was also thinking that I would do. I felt like what I'm planning to do right now is for version 1.0 of this. Each of these modules is going to be like 2,000 words of text, and then one video, like probably a 5, 10, 15-minute video.
Yeah.
That I shoot. It's going to be pretty much. What I don't want to do is I don't want to have like put a lot of. I honestly don't want to put a lot of effort into polishing this version because I'm thinking that I will probably trash all or most of it. Yep. So I'm thinking the videos are just going to be
you standing right there talking into that mic.
And if even that, probably it'll be sharing my screen for most of it. So and probably like the first 5 or first 4 videos, I think I'll do like for the first one I'll do like where I'll actually just share my screen and walk through the show people in drip like how everything's set up, or not show how it's set up, but show them what the pieces of it are. And then the second one I'll probably talk through my bad news, good news. The funny thing is that since I simplified the process a little bit like this, I'm finding I'm actually using more of it. Like
good.
There's like I'm doing an email course this week for how to market yourself, and a lot of this stuff I've internalized, so I don't need to do as much of it formally. But the simplified version that I have here is actually simplified enough that it's not a lot of extra burden for me to do now, and it's actually more useful for me. So. So I think I'll like walk through and then like in the planning module, I'm gonna walk through the outline that I did for this email course this week, and show exactly how I do it. And then the technical thing, that'll be like probably more in depth, and I'll just actually walk through everything in drip and show all the workflows and how the pieces all fit together. But yeah, I feel like I can get this done in a reasonable amount of time without killing myself, and I'm honestly like, well, we'll have to see how much time I have left over, but I'm considering just like sending with the launching it entirely by email and sending people to a DPD checkout page if I don't have time to write the sales page, because like if you do a good job with the email, you can get away with that.
Yeah, you've got countless number of people that are literally begging you for that
I know.
page. Just let me throw money at you already. I mean, the email you forwarded us earlier literally said, charge whatever you want, tell me how much it's going to be, and I will throw money at you.
Yeah, I gotta get this done. So I feel like if I do it at $97, I can probably make somewhere between $3,000 and $5,000 at least.
In your first week.
In my first week, and then in with the launch, and then I'll probably relaunch it again several times in the next year. So.
Yeah. Keep relaunching it until you've made that $1 million.
Yeah. That article was so good.
It was. I'm really trying to take that. I mean, earlier after we got back from MicroComp, I was talking so much about doing the whole Kickstarter thing, and now I'm like, nope, not gonna do. Don't bother.
Which article?
The one about relaunching your product over and over.
Yeah, it was a Video Fruit guest post.
Yeah.
From Jeff Goins.
Yeah, it was really good.
Did you guys send that to the list? I didn't.
I don't. I can find it for you real quick.
Okay.
I don't remember where I found it from. I might have seen it retweeted from somebody on Twitter, but yeah, the whole point of the article was this guy launched his product and made like $6,000 and was ecstatic, and he went to, who was it, Jared Drysdale or someone?
No, yeah, it was
Went to one of the big name people.
yeah,
And
Eric Halpern.
Yeah, and basically said, all right, I had this great successful launch. What should I do for my next product? And
Yeah.
the guy basically said, what are you, stupid? Why would you build another product when you have this highly successful thing that has not yet reached your entire audience and has not yet seen, critical mass of people buying it?
Mm-hmm.
Relaunch it, and just keep relaunching it over and over again until it's perfect and until you've reached the entire market segment.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that had the product was like, oh, yeah, okay, let me just do that, and within like a year he had made over $1 million.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you just launch a new product?
Because the new product won't have that kind of compounding effect. The new product is restarting at ground zero in terms of the buildup of knowledge in the launch. With each successful launch of the same product, you learn how to market that one product better, instead of having to relearn how to market a new product over and over again.
Yeah, I guess so, but there's diminishing returns too. Like
eventually there will be. It depends on it largely depends on the size of the audience, the potential market, and all that
also
kind of stuff.
if you get, depending on your niche,
right.
if you get better, the better you get at launching, the more people will be happy to help you with your launch.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
like,
look at Adrian with Pi Image Search. Do you think it would be good advice to tell him to stop working on Pi Image Search and go find the next thing?
No.
That would be ridiculous. That would be a terrible idea. And I think there's a lot of value in all of us learning how to continuously improve and relaunch existing products.
I guess it depends on how niche down you are, because, like, with Simple Programmer, it makes way more sense to create more products, because the market penetration on those products and the cross-selling is so great, has such a high potential, whereas just relaunching the product over and over.
But you have the automation in place to continuously launch those products into your audience.
Yeah, it's not like we're kind of already doing that to some extent.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
It's not like
you're not doing what I did last year. You're not running a 1-week sales pitch and launch and then completely dropping off the face of the earth with that product.
True. That's okay.
What I did last year.
I see.
And that's what I'm learning how to fix this year. I am learning how to relaunch my product over and over again. I'm just doing it through an automated process so that it's not a manual relaunch each time.
That makes sense. Okay. Yeah. Now I see. Okay, that makes sense. And then you're improving on that.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And we have that machine cranking away, so we can, like I figured out. Oh yeah, if I just add a products menu, like we are actually may start making more sales. So you can find little tweaks like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I actually would really like to relaunch, to redo and relaunch How to Market Yourself.
Yeah, you could make a killing.
I think if we did that,
like change the name and everything,
change the name, rebrand it, update the content, because some of it's like kind of aging with some of the especially like the social media stuff, and and get some more. I think that if we could pack in some more content about how to get the strategies for getting traffic to your blog and that sort of thing. I think we could really, because that's like the questions that come up in the Facebook group and.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, I think we could do really well with that,
and
maybe sometime early next year. Maybe we do the entrepreneurial course and then come back around to that. I'd like to.
But see, that's what I'm talking about. Though the problem is is that, like, in our case, I don't know if we'll ever get around to, like, relaunching How to Market Yourself, because will that ever be the best course of action? Like, we've got a whole bunch of other courses potentially to create and programs.
But that just that dilutes things. That
Yeah.
more than building, that dilutes, because you're now moving you're taking an audience of 1 million people, and you're trying to target 10,000 of them at a time, instead of taking the one product that could potentially grow into all of them.
I don't know. I don't. I think, I mean, having a lot of products, people are going to buy multiple products, and then you're going to have different segments of people that are going to buy them. Like, at least from the simple programmer audience, a more specifically targeted audience, I could see that being the case. But in our case, like, I mean, I'm thinking forward, like, right, it doesn't make sense to relaunch How to Market Yourself now. It'd make more sense to create the entrepreneurial course, right, or the new book, or to go with the fitness product.
Time versus effort, though. I mean, how much time is it going to take? Time and money is it going to take to build that entrepreneurial course and launch it once?
Not long, not much.
And you might make 30, 40, 50,000 off of it versus
No, like 300,000 off of it.
Maybe.
No, we're launching to a list of like of 30,000 people.
It'll be like it'll be 35 to 35 plus.
Yeah.
And if we get like even a 0.5% conversion on that, which I think is doable, it'll be priced at like $1,000. So it's gonna be, it's gonna be a higher end thing, and it'll be niched down, but it'll be the price point will be a lot higher.
Right.
But John, I think we the number of people that have actually bought How to Market Yourself on our list even is still pretty small, and we could probably, if we did a big update, we could offer some of those people an upgrade option. And the thing is that it does take me, like, I think it's actually, I'm in a lot of ways I'm more of a break on this stuff than you are, because I think it takes me longer to do the marketing than it does for you to create the products. Mm-hmm. So that's something we have to factor in, is that, like, my bandwidth.
If you can update a product and relaunch it and make 50,000 with 40 hours of work versus, creating a new product which might take 40 hours and then 120 hours to create the marketing.
Right.
Where's the cutoff and the benefit? And if you can repeat that once every year or 6 months or something on an existing product, and just continue to, you make 50 grand off of How to Market Yourself this time, and then you make 150 next time, and then you make 350 the next time.
Yeah, but it doesn't work that way. We've been running How to Market Yourself for a long time here. Like,
you've been running the automation, you haven't been relaunching it.
Been doing sales, been essentially doing relaunches. Like, now it's automated, but before it was manual. Okay. And every time we do a sale, it'd be like, like 10, 12K. Yeah. But producing more products gives you more overall to build off of, right? Like, it's like, if you have 20 products out there, you're going to have, now when someone joins your list, like, your back end is huge. Now the chances of you having something that they're going to buy is extremely high, because, like, let's say that you had like a 2% conversion rate on your list. So anyone who joins your list has a 2% chance of buying your one product, right? If you have 20 products out there, that could be as high as 20%. Right?
That's only valid if every one of the products is targeted at everybody on your list, though.
No, that's the whole point. It's like if
I'm not going to sell shampoo to my software developer.
But if you
look, I've got a closet full of shampoo. Go buy. Nobody on my list is going to buy.
But if you did, someone would buy that. Like, I mean, it needs to be. That's an extreme example, but as long as it's related to the interest.
That's exactly what I just said.
Yeah.
needs to be
No,
targeted
so
at the people that are on your list.
but Derek, it makes a lot of sense for you to have RabbitMQ. Like, it makes sense for you to have JavaScript fundamentals and
Yeah.
RabbitMQ and Node.js and
right.
ExpressJS. Like, it makes sense for you to have all those products. And
Right.
the cumulative, so like the cumulative, every time you add a product, it does, assuming you can hold people's interest and get them to notice what else you have, it can expand the number of overall buyers because and then the what I'm finding is that the overlap, there's not actually a lot of overlap in people that buy one product buy another one.
Right.
It tends to be like there's probably, I could look actually, there's like a very small number of people that have bought both 10 steps and how to market yourself. So having both of those expands our number
what
of
I'd like to get to the
customers.
point is where we can have a good machine in place where we can essentially produce like 2 to 3 courses a year, maybe even 4 courses a year, and then put those out and expand the product line, but have automation in place for the email, have sort of templates in place for the marketing where it's faster, like if and also in the course creation itself. And so we can get to this point where we're producing all these courses on all these topics.
So we have 900 or currently active in Drip. We have 990 people that have bought 10 Steps to Learn, and 191 of them, so about a fifth, have also bought How to Market Yourself. And then let me see how many people have bought How to Market Yourself. And then How to Market Yourself, we have 751 people. So we've sold nearly as many, almost equal number of both of those products, and then about a 20% have overlapped and bought both.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think ideally, in an ideal world, you'd be doing both.
Right. Well, what I was thinking is you fill out your product line so that you stop until you hit diminishing returns, because you'll eventually hit diminishing returns. I don't know where that number is.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to hit, like, if you have 20 products, maybe like having 25 isn't going to matter because you're already getting like 20% conversion rate on everyone who joins your list.
The same holds true for relaunching your product. I mean, you guys probably have relaunched How to Market Yourself so many times that it would be diminishing returns. But for me,
if we did a total revamp and everything, I agree it would have an impact. But my thinking is like, let's get to like, I don't know, whatever it is, 15 or 20 products where we see that we're still making money off of those, like launching to the list, and then when that starts to slow down, then go back and pick the best and worst of those and relaunch those, or take the worst losers and throw them out, or do something, or relaunch them completely, or.
Yeah, I like the idea of throwing out the losers. Just get rid of them because they take more time to support than they are worth, and that lets you focus. So it's a larger strategy than just relaunching the one product over and over. The relaunch is a good tactic, but the strategy is growth and then trim, growth and then trim, growth and then trim.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I mean, the main thing is, like, you just can't, like, launch to your product to your list one time and then that's it.
Yeah.
Right, you've got to, like,
I made that
put it
mistake
on
last
sale
year,
again.
and it's killing me this year. That's what I'm trying to fix this year.
But I don't like the idea of just, like, focusing on the one product and then just keep on relaunching it. I mean, I guess you could, again, if you're very narrowly focused, then that can make sense. Like, I think in Josh's case, it does make more sense because it's an email. It's a course about how to create good email courses, and that's his specific niche. And I don't see a lot of other products around that at this point. So,
well, the next product I do after this is probably going to be, I think I'm going to do like a 30-day email copywriting challenge, like basically copy hour for email.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I think that people would love that.
But it makes sense in my case with the RabbitMQ course specifically because there is a huge growth in RabbitMQ right now, and I see a lot of LeanPub sales for my RabbitMQ stuff. I mean, I had 2 today and 4 yesterday. on ebook sales, and that's with little to no marketing on those things. So there's a lot of opportunity for me to relaunch my RabbitMQ stuff, which I'm getting to with the automation, the email marketing automation. But I think a proper relaunch of RabbitMQ to my mailing list and to the general internet could see huge returns for me on that. And so there, getting the niche, getting the market understanding, recognizing how much of the potential size there is, how much of that market has currently gone through your sales pitch, and how easy it is to reach the next chunk of your existing market, all definitely play into whether or not you should relaunch your product.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of opportunity for me right now to relaunch my higher priced products.
Yeah.
And really have an impact.
The one thing I really like about what Brian, so I really like what Brian Harris has been doing. He's been just basically just been relaunching that 10K subs course over and over again. And the thing I really like how he's measuring customer success basically, and improving. That's like, to me, that's actually probably for how to market yourself. That's like the one thing I'd really like to do is if you can improve it based on feedback, and then people are more successful with it, you can make your marketing a lot more effective.
Yeah.
Because you can use all that proof. Every time you iterate through it, you get more proof, and you can continue to pile that up. So that's like the one thing I really like, that the way Brian's doing that. A lot of, like, most of the stuff people tend to do is more like fire and forget, and you build it once and then you walk away.
Yeah, it depends too. I think also on the audience too. I was thinking about this too, because like I was just scanning through that blog post too, and what Derek had said in there about what are you, stupid, like you already have a successful product. If you've got an audience that is built around, well, it depends if you've got an audience that's built around like a community or you, or if it's around a concept or an idea. And it's like, I think if you've got, like, I don't know, like some people would struggle to find a successful product, like a selling product, and so that would make sense to me. Like if you're in a place where it'd be difficult to find a product that would sell, then why would you like take a chance and roll the dice again on another one? But if you have an audience where you know they're going to buy, then it's a different. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. It's interesting to see. I guess I look at it this way. So it's like, what is the next best move that you could possibly do? And I'm for, at least for Simple Programmer, I'm not seeing it as relaunch at any time period that is in the near future.
Yeah.
Silence.
Yeah, I'm kind of talked out here, I think.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah, I'm falling asleep.
My mouth hurts from talking so much.
All right, should we do our thoughts? We're almost out of time anyway, so.
Yeah. I have none.
We're done. Wrap it up. John's sleep is for the weak.
Yeah.
I'll sleep when
and I'm weak.
Yeah, I don't know. Try not to have every last thing that you're involved in end on the same week, or begin on the same week. Just try to spread things out over time a little more if you can.
I think I'll go with eliminating things is really painful, but when you do, it's amazing. Like, the answer to being more productive is usually not learning how to do more better. It's usually learning how to do less.
Yeah, learning how to do less.
I used to take a class when I was in college. I used to actually book an extra class just to drop it. Because it felt so good. Oh my goodness! Like, I'd pick the one that I was liking the least, and I would just drop it. It was like, I'd take 18 credits, and then I'd intend to finish 15, and then whichever one I was not doing well in or just not enjoying, I would axe it. So
I took the bare minimum number of credits I could get by with in order to graduate. I had taken a bunch of college classes when I was in high school, and then I tested out of several things like English while I was in college. So I got through a first year of college with a full course load. My second year of college, I took like 9 credits. It was an associate's degree, junior college, so I only needed 2 years. But that second year with only like 9 credits, it was great.
Wait, so do you not have a bachelor's degree?
Nope. I have an associate's degree in music composition and sound.
There you go.
Awesome.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. So you need the college. I guess that hasn't held you back too much.
Nope. It hurt.
I did not realize that.
It hurt when I was getting my first job. But after that, nobody cared. Nobody cared at all. I mean, I literally had a boss. The guy that hired me, this was 2006. I went in for, 3 or 4 interviews, and the hiring manager was involved in every interview. He really, really, really wanted to hire me, so he kept bringing me back to show me all these different things that they were doing and to talk to more people and whatnot. And, I ended up getting the job. And several months into this job, something about college degrees was brought up, and I just passively mentioned, oh yeah, I only have a 2-year degree in music. And the hiring manager, the guy that hired me, that had brought me in for interviews so many times, looked at me and said, "Really? Oh, I guess I didn't even bother looking at your education. I just looked at your experience."
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, when I first got out of college, it hurt. There were several places that turned me down because I didn't have that piece of paper, but there were also several places that were like, yeah, we don't really care because you have the experience. Unfortunately, this other person just has more experience. They don't have a degree either, but they have more experience.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, the thing is, you only need to get one job at a time.
Exactly.
So it's like, this is what I always tell people. It's like, yeah, a lot of places are going to turn you down because you don't have a degree, but you only need to get one job. So, like, you only need one place that doesn't turn you down. So,
right.
Yeah, so back off to our thoughts for the week. I guess I'll go with deliver end-to-end value with each iteration. It's incredibly important. Or I guess, start with the end. Like what Chet and I did with monads this week in composition in functional programming. Start with the end and then break it down and deliver value with each iteration.
Let's see. I guess mine would be there's a difference between moving quickly and being in a hurry. And moving quickly is a physical thing, and being in a hurry is a mental thing. And so you can move quickly, but you should never be in a hurry.
There you go.
And so anytime you're in a hurry, you should stop and replan, figure out what can actually be done, because they're not the same thing. And being in a hurry is never good.
Yep. Similar to the old the manufacturing axiom of don't confuse activity with productivity.
Yep.
Don't just run around being busy all day, but actually be productive.
All right, guys.
All right.
I may see you next week or not.
All right. It might just be Josh and me.
Yeah. If you don't hear from me after 3 weeks, then contact the U.S. Embassy.
We'll send Jack Bauer after you.
Yeah, totally.
All right.
All right, see you guys.